Corey, I think it's time, man. Do you have a grade? Everyone's throwing out grades. For NFL drafts, it's one of those traditions that's tried and true. So right here on BLEAV In Bears, what is your grade for the Bears 2023 NFL draft?
I'm going to give them a B-, right?
Me too.
Really,
Damn.
Yeah, really like the first pick. The two defensive linemen, it's big question marks, right? This could pan out and be a great thing, right? Dexter has all the athleticism and tools. He hasn't been a part of this scheme, so it's kind of a crapshoot and a gamble, just like any other pick. But he doesn't have the scheme familiarity. So I think out of all the ones, he could be the best one out of all the defensive linemen they picked because the upside is there. He was kind of in a weird scheme. I like the cornerback position in Stevenson. I think he's going to be a day one starter. Love Roschon Johnson. I feel like he hasn't even scratched the surface of what he can be. He was sitting behind Bijan Robinson. Love the Tyler Scott pick and the Sewell pick as well. Tyler Scott, I really think he's going to be a game breaker once he can really develop as a receiver. So smooth, so fluid. Route running is really good. So Bears haven't had that game-breaking receiver in a while. It's been fun to watch him over the past couple of years at Cincinnati. The reason why I'm giving a B- is because they didn't address the defensive end position. That's something that's lacking. So for me, I would have liked at least one dominant defensive end, a guy that can give you, anywhere from 8 to 10 sacks, somewhere in that range, maybe 7. You just don't have that. The run game is going to be a lot better this year defensively, being able to stop the run. But I think we're going to have to dial it up with the talented linebackers. I think they're probably going to generate most of the pressure in there because Walker playing the end, he's going to kick inside in pass rush situations.
I'm also going with a B- too as well, Corey. And look, it's an 83, right? It's not an 81. Okay, so it's very, very close, I think, to a B. But as you mentioned, and a lot of people like to throw it out there, that they couldn't fix everything in one offseason. I totally agree. And they definitely tried, right? They tried to spend some money at the defensive tackle position. Let's be honest, they kind of struck out for the second year in a row, and now they're going towards the draft. My issue is exactly kind of in line with what you're saying, where I think the two guys that we got look more like contributors than possible pieces that can have the potential to become these stars. And that's really what you kind of wanted to focus on. And my issue right now is, as it stands, you walk out of this draft, you're not going to fill every single need in the world, but the Bears defensive line got better, right? But let's be honest. They had 20 sacks last year, lowest in the NFL. They gave up the most rushing yards last year. They're definitely a 30. If they're not the 32nd ranked defensive line, they are damn close. And in my opinion, Corey, I think they only got, if they got better, right? Well, what does that mean? I feel like that they're still maybe the 27th or 28th ranked, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that, we're about a top 20 offense, and hopefully we move that up a little bit. So you want to have a world where, you don't have to be the best at anything, but you want something kind of in the middle of the pack in both areas, and then you're a successful football team. So if we're still 27th, 28th, man, that doesn't really move the needle for me a little bit. And the curious thing, and I want to get your take on this, is we're talking a lot about Justin Fields. I am telling you, this is a little preview for the summer and training camp moving forward, is that I do think it is time for us to start to assess Matt Eberflus a little bit more closely. Yep. And I do think we've got some great coaches on the staff right now. But as we've kind of talked about, what we're kind of getting at is that, they're drafting guys for these physical traits. You're talking about scheme familiarity. This all goes back to coaching, right, Corey? These coaches have to get their hands on these players and really have to mold them, and they have to coach them up. And whether these guys succeed or not may have a little bit to do with some of that coaching. It's now in their lap just as much as it is the player's lap. So I'm really curious to see how that kind of plays out. And I'm telling you right now, mandate. They got to go out. They got to get some vet help on the defensive line.
100%.
100%. And if they don't do that, Corey, I'm telling you, man, we're in trouble. You know what I mean? We're in trouble, dude.
Yeah, I think the thing I think the rush defense will be a lot better. I think it'll be leaps and bounds above next year. But I think the pass rush, as far as the defensive line, I think it's going to be slightly better. So you had said 20 or 21 sacks. Only 7 of those were from the defensive line a year ago. So
and who led the team in sacks, Corey? Jaquan Brisker, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's never a good thing when your safety leads the team in sacks. You look at a lot of teams. Philly had 4 guys with double digits. So we definitely have to improve on that. So I think the rush defense will improve. I think the same thing. I think majority of the sacks will be from blitzers. Whether it's a Jaquan Brisker again or a linebacker. We got a talented group of linebackers. I think that's kind of going to be the MO of the Bears defense. It's always good when you get pressure with the front four in the Tampa 2. That's how it really thrives. So I guess I'm just really questioning their plan as far as not adding defensive ends to this system.